light source to the edge of the cabinetry, and where it hits the wall, then we go across using our left vanishing point. Don't forget to keep using your left vanishing point, or whichever vanishing point you need to be using at the time. If this is open cabinetry, then we'll have a shadow. I believe it is open cabinetry. We'll have a little bit of an angle to a shadow here. Where it touches here, you go across using your left vanishing point. So we'll have shadow there. Reminds me we should have a double line there for thickness. Now the window, this is all lit up here because the light is facing it, so there's nothing we can do there. We'll have a look at our banquette, and we have that on our floor plan, so we've got a little bit of an idea of where to go there. Again, we only put half a foot, so we don't want to make it dark and gloomy in here, and it couldn't possibly be. It's such a bright kitchen. This will help to set up the pedestal as well, because this part is in light. There's our shadow. We also have a shadow from this. We found on our floor plan, we have a little shadow there. Now, the way to do this is actually to find out this height on this line from the light. But there's a shortcut. We can rely on this, and that's a 45-degree angle if I ever saw one. So I can just look at this angle, look at that angle, and simplify. You're always looking for ways to simplify things, make your life a little easier. There's always so much to do that whenever you can take a shortcut or find an easy way to do something, then you do it. So we didn't come from the bottom, not like on the floor plan. We used the floor plan to help us find this though. And down here are stools. They're not the right shape. They're going to be spindly, leggy things. So, but for now, we'll have something we can look at and understand. And their shadow might go up onto the banquette. When we see the back of this shadow, it's almost in line. We'll go from the top, right the center of the light here. We'll go through here and just see what kind of shadow we've got here. So now I go back this way, because remember, that's really how you find these shadows. But we've been doing it a little differently because we've been just using one point. But this is nice. It's a nice variation because it's not giving us a humongous shadow. The light is so close. This would be so humongous if we'd relied on this to give it to us. We're experimenting a little bit here, so we're inventing. Well, actually, we're inventing quite a lot, but this is how it goes when you're working on an actual rendering. You have to allow for the unexpected and make allowances for whatever will give you the best, most effective visual. That's what you're after. So I let it go up the side of the banquette, although I'm not sure we're going to see banquette there because it's cut away. This one, we're going to go this way, and we'll use the light again and see what that gives us. It just gives us a bare scraping of a shadow out here. So if I go from there through there and down to the floor, where they meet is about like that. So I'll just use this vanishing point and bring it along. So we've got that much of a little shadow out that way. But this part is in the light. It's all being lit up. There's our shadow over there. The other thing about this shadow mapping is that it's telling us whether or not there will be a shadow, and there isn't over here. Remember when we looked at that, the shadow would have been inside. But there's going to be shadow on the toe kick area. And remember, this is straight across almost, so that this is getting lots of light from the light source. This now is going to give us shadow, but it's probably going to give us shadow right over top of these. Now, from observation, I know that the shadow for these from the light source above will not be at the edge, but inside. I just know this from doing a lot of drawing and painting and observation. I know that the shadow will be half, about half. And then this piece itself, you go from the center of your light through this point where the overhang and this side of the island meet. You go like this to get the shape of it, and then you decide how, from a point that's at the same point, you decide how much of this to put on. I'll use my left vanishing point, and I'll decide that I want to just have it about like that. So, because that way now, I'll look at it and see. It's not quite believable. It's not quite believable. So let's make it lower than this. That will be believable. Not even a whole lot lower, but just a little bit lower. And that's the overhang casting a shadow on this end of the island. There. That's a little better, although I don't really like it lining up with the seat of the bench, so we can possibly go just a little lower. And I should see if this will cast a shadow on the side of the bench, and it will. So I'm lining up the top of my light with the top of the back of the bench, and it's going to cast a little bit of shadow there as well. And I'm going to bring it down, as I said, just a little bit lower. Now this is going to look totally different when we get our actual shapes, but it will make it convincing. It's kind of a nice dark to have there. It sets up the stools. This will cast a shadow, and because our pedestal is round, this will be round. Of course, there are going to be shadows underneath any of the moldings and, you know, thicknesses of countertops. There's going to be shadow under there. And as I mentioned, on the toe kicks, they will have shadow. This will be lit up. That will be maybe a middle value. The walls themselves will have they will have a shadow near the top here. And we don't want to make that too dark. Our walls aren't dark, so we don't want to make that too dark. But this penumbra is important. It's always present. These may wash light down, so that could be interrupted a little bit, but essentially we have more shadow at the top here. And we can refine all this when we begin to detail our drawing on the overlay.